I don't like it or I don't do it.
I mean, you don't really know much about it, will I say? Is that what I'll
Not
say?
much, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I watch it,
So
but
this
like
is gonna
that's
be
about it.
fun.
Yeah,
What?
don't worry. This isn't gonna be much of a, like, I know you probably do a lot of interviews about just basic like basketball every time, so don't worry about it. This isn't
This is
just
gonna
that.
be fun.
Yeah, alright, don't worry about it. Okay, my name is Ade. That's Onyinyechi, like we said. This is the first episode of The Den, and we have EJ Anosike. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I'm blessed.
Yeah?
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Not too much. Okay. First question we had, because we always normally, I don't know if you've seen another interview I had with another player or something, but I just let you know. First question I need to know is, growing up in Nigeria, how was it? And what age did you move over to America?
See, my childhood is kind of interesting.
Okay, like most of us. Let's hear one.
So I'm the youngest of 8 children. I'm the youngest of 8 children.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good way to start. Let's keep going.
Yeah. So when my mom had me, she just finished nursing school. She just finished nursing school in the States. So she had me born in the U.S. And then at 14 months, she took me back to Nigeria for the first time. I don't know how long I was there, but she took me back. And since then, I just kept going back and forth for long periods of time. My childhood, just getting the best of both worlds, and just to learn about my culture, my people, and I didn't really have much city experience. You just leave me in the village for like a month, couple months, and I was with my cousins, uncles, and that helped build the foundation for where I am today. Working in the market, one of my uncles is a welder in my village, so I was his apprentice up until I started playing basketball, and then my other aunt, she sold like garments and stuff, so I work in the market with her some days. So it was just a unique experience, especially for a kid, and it taught me the hustler's mentality, and I brought that to the court.
Yeah, so. Wait, how many brothers do you have? How many brothers? How many sisters?
4 sisters, 3 brothers.
So like when you guys that's perfectly split. When you guys used to go back,
I know.
Was it like the whole gang going back or something, or was it just?
It was just me.
It was just you, literally. So that, I mean, you chill with your cousins and all that. So
my mom's the oldest of 11. So by the time I was born, all her siblings started having kids. They were all
you had wow.
The whole gang. Wait, so are your siblings still in Nigeria?
All my siblings are here. They're all
Okay.
here. I was just fortunate enough to go back to Nigeria often as a child. When my mom, whenever she went, she'll take me. And gave me the roots.
Oh, so you guys like all actually lived here. You just used to go back like once in a while.
Yeah, I used to go back for a little while. Yeah.
Okay. I see.
Almost went to school there at one point, but I got my together. So.
Well, did she hit you one of those like, hey?
I was actually in Nigeria, and then this is an interesting story. So I have a cousin, so I was there, and then she had to move into school, and I went with her to move into her boarding school. And then I don't know if it's a joke or what they were doing, but my uncle had an extra uniform, and he gave it to me, and now I'm just thinking like, am I really about to move in and go to school here? And then luckily, it was like my last get it together, or like, this is really.
This is what's gonna happen. Yeah. When Ichi and I both went to a Nigerian boarding school, I wouldn't say it was bad, but yeah.
But this is village though. Like this is not no.
But it's very shocking. Like it's very hard if you're coming from like out of the country, going to a Nigerian boarding school. Like we were fine. Relatively, we turned out fine.
You turned out okay.
I can imagine how scary it should be.
Yeah.
I was thinking about.
I was saying, well, how am I play basketball? They don't play basketball.
That's another thing I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
This is what I like. I really love to play basketball. So I'm like, yeah, my basketball career is over.
No.
So
did you know? First thing is, what got you into basketball? Was it your brothers, or like what got you into the game? You just used to watch it or something?
I was definitely say like Kobe Bryant. Like I was a baby when he won the championship with the Lakers. So I was a Laker fan, Shaq and Kobe. And then Kobe won number 8, and I'm the 8th child. So that always resonated.
Oh yeah,
So like ever since then, as a little kid, I always loved playing basketball. And then, you know, seeing my sisters and brothers playing definitely it showed me that you could be something with the game, especially if you work hard and believe in yourself.
Wow. Kobe is most people's inspiration, I can't lie.
Yeah.
But you probably thought that was your guy with the number and everything.
Yeah.
So you mentioned going back to Nigeria. Did you know anything about Nigerian basketball at that time? Did you know any players? I mean, let me think. I'm trying to remember around that period. Maybe, I mean, there weren't a lot of Nigerian players in the league then, but there were a few. You probably saw, oh, this guy has a similar name to mine or something like.
Yeah, growing up, I started seeing like the trend of like Nigerian players playing in the NBA, like Ime Udoka, Ike Diolu, Afro Camino. We always know Hakeem Olajuwon. So just seeing that and hearing watching those stories, like I'm big into documentaries and like studying people that came before me, and you know, hearing all their stories and how they came and how they played, and then the next generation of hoopers that came in, like now the NBA is a lot of Nigerians.
Yeah.
So it's just very beautiful to see. And during my time in Nigeria, when I was going back, you know, I was living in Okija, Anambra State. That's where I spent most of my childhood when I went back. There wasn't really much basketball. There wasn't really any basketball infrastructure. Everyone,
Nah.
They're playing soccer, or you know, like my mom would, because I love basketball so much. My mom would buy like from the 99-cent store some basketballs, some cheap basketballs, and then like I'll take like one of my grandma's like flower pots, and like I got in trouble for this, but I'll break the hole at the bottom and try to put it up on a tree, and then I teach my cousin how to play basketball.
Hey, that's dedication. That's one thing. That's dedication.
It was a lot of walk to fetch water and a lot of plugging, but you know,
it's built character. That's what most okay.
That's what they'll say.
Yeah, you survived going to a Nigerian boarding school. Okay, or like
we died. Died.
Yeah, almost going. Yeah. When it came to picking college for after high school, because you do have some crazy high school tapes. That's one thing I'll tell you. You have some crazy high school tapes. That took me sometimes fine, but you are a baller. But I saw some of your tapes, big baller. Yeah. What came down to this decision when making your choice for college?
Well, for me, my story was different than my siblings, because I was a late bloomer. I didn't start because we moved. We used to live in New York, and then when I started growing up, we moved to New Jersey. My mom didn't really know many two people in New Jersey or like where basketball was. I had to start figuring it out on my own. So when I turned like 12, 13, that's when I started finding local coaches to teach me. So by the time I got to high school, my development didn't really take off until I was about 16, going into 17. But I was young. My senior year, I was 16 because my mom, you know how Nigerian parents are. If you finish school early, less tuition, less school fees. She's not basketball. She's thinking about no tuition.
Yeah.
So, basketball-wise, it was, you know, I was luckily fortunate enough to make an Adidas team, a travel team, and travel around the country.
Yeah.
And because I was so young, colleges didn't want to offer scholarships to a 16-year-old when the next guy is like 18 or 19. So I had to do one more year. I had to do a prep school year. So I went to boarding school in Connecticut, St. Thomas More, all boys school. And it was a great experience. And from there, that's when everything kind of started taking off. And I started getting scholarship offers. And, you know, I started at Sacred Heart University. I committed to Sacred Heart University, signed on my birthday. And then what made it special and kind of unique is my siblings' grammar school in New York was Sacred Heart. And then I never went to Sacred Heart because I wasn't old enough. We moved to New Jersey. And then by the time I got to college, I got offered by Sacred Heart. So it was just kind of like fate. My mom believed this was the perfect place. And, you know, we went there and, you know, made history. So it was the start to an amazing journey, college-wise.
In terms of recruitment, I heard some crazy stories about what coaches say or how they try and like entice you guys to sign. What was going on? Like, were they like say, you're gonna get this over here, bro? Like, come on. How are they telling you? Obviously, your mom was already at the back of her head saying, "Oh, you should go to Sacred Heart." Yeah, but what made you look at that college and say, "Yeah, that's what I want to go to"?
I think at that time, the head coach, Coach Latina, he came to my prep school almost every day.
Like, he was
harder than any any other coach that was recruiting me at the time. And he's a great guy, honest dude. And what made it easier was at St. Thomas More, the year before me, there's a guy that went to Sacred Heart from my prep school. The year before that, so they had 4 guys from our prep school already in that school. So it was like an easy adjustment. And I took the visit. It's an hour from New York City. I'm like, yeah, this is perfect for me. I can go here. But recruiting stories, I mean, it's not like how it is in the movies in some cases, but it's definitely interesting. But that's a conversation for another day.
Hey, you're trying to keep that confidential. Okay.
But it was a good experience, basketball wise, and I had teammates, so that made it special. My teammates, they were great guys.
Obviously, you transferred to Tennessee, and as well, we're gonna get to Cal State at the end. But when you were transferring, everyone was like, I remember like a list came out. This was when I first started watching basketball at the point. So I used to see like anytime I see a Nigerian name, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna remember that guy. So I think like top 15 transfers at the time, and I think I saw your name in an article, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna follow that guy. When you were transferring, what made you decide to go that route?
Family preaches education. So I completed my undergrad, my bachelor's in 3 years. So I finished the year early. So that allowed me to go to another school to get my master's. So that's how I was able to convince my mom to let me transfer. I got a degree already.
You've already got, Mom, see, I've got my degree. You can let me get ahead.
Not in one major, but in 3.
Exactly.
Finance, economics, and accounting. So you should ask me, Mom.
She can't say anything.
You can't say nothing. So I had to outsmart her. And, at that time, my junior at Sacred Heart, we won 20 games, and I was All-American. So I had a lot of success. And, I felt like for me as a player, I had to take that next step in my development. And my motto has always been, you got to go to where the best players are at if you want to be the best. So when I left Sacred Heart and graduated, didn't have a graduation because of COVID. So I have no cap and gown pictures from any graduations, but sacrifice we had to make. But a lot of schools are calling. And then for the first time, I felt like, all right, now like things are starting to turn for me, opportunities are coming. And, Tennessee, my older sister went to Tennessee. She won 2 championships there. I was used to go to the games, be a ball boy. So it was another signature, it's faith.
Yeah, you just felt, it's meant to be. Like,
to be. So I went to Tennessee, and, definitely I wore my sister's number 55 there for 1 year. And during that time was COVID, so I didn't get the full experience. But it was definitely a blessing, definitely, because I learned a lot about myself, and I became the man that prepared me for everything that was yet to come the following year.
Yeah. What was yet to come? Man?
Exactly.
Yeah. Cal State. Talk to us about Cal State. And I remember when you posted this picture, because we'll get to that later. But like one thing I really love is when, like, I mean, now obviously Nigerians are trying to act like we're an underdog country. We're the biggest. Well, we're the biggest and we're the loudest. Yeah. But I love when I saw that Nigerian flag at the back. I was like, yes, bro. This is what's supposed to be. No matter what you're celebrating, and you put that flag on your back. How was the experience in Cal State, and how was it in that tournament when you were going off, bro? Like,
my experience in Cal State. As a little kid, I always wanted to live in California. I was a Laker fan. I was like, LA is a place for me. And when I left Tennessee, I graduated. I got my master's in 9 months in agriculture and natural resource economics. So that allowed me to convince my mom to let me go to a new school. Exactly. And then I convinced her until I was going to get my PhD. And then by the time I got the Cal State Fullerton, I'm like, this PhD program is a little bit too long, and I don't have time to put that.
Yeah, Mom, I've tried now, like,
So we made an agreement. I said I'll get my second master's, and I my master's in business administration and management, my MBA. And I went to California. It was a great opportunity. Coach Taylor was a great guy, and I live right by the beach, 30 minutes from LA, 30 minutes from the beach in Orange County. It's very beautiful, and met a lot of great people. And for me, that was like my first time, like as a man. It's like I'm on my own. I got to make something out of nothing. Like my career depends on the year that I have and where I go from here. Yeah. It gave me the opportunity, and there's no better place to be than LA when you want to become something in yourself. It's the land of the stars. So I was very determined, and that's when I started. One of my role models is E-Money.
Oh.
He has a saying. it's too late to fail. And I post, I always say it's too late to fail because like I feel like everything that he stands for, everything that he done, especially his upbringing, which I know a little bit about, but we could talk about that another day. But it's just like life is whatever you make it, and you control your own destiny. So definitely going to Cal State Fullerton, I worked really hard, met a lot of people. I met LeVar Ball, started playing with the Ball brothers and training with them. And by the time that tournament come, the week before the tournament started, so I was having a great year. I felt like I'm gonna win Player of the Year at the conference. And then we had the last game. We finished one game behind first. It's almost tied first for regular season, so we didn't win the regular season championship. And on coach, we had our team picture, and then they announced the awards, and they said you didn't win Player of the Year. I think like when that didn't happen, I was very mad and frustrated and disappointed. But I didn't talk to my teammates for the whole week prior to the whole tournament. For
real, just because of that.
Yeah, like my whole mind was like, and then I spoke to some friends and they was like, just show them, show them that is a mistake. And then so I started listening to Sister Agatha Moses. Thank you every day. I was listening to my emo gospel music every day, all the way through the tournament. And that tournament, that's when all the stars aligned. And,
in the zone.
I had a dream. I had a dream. You know how Nigerians are. We always have these dreams.
You saw the vision. You saw it. You saw it happen.
I was packing to go to this tournament in Las Vegas. I was like, I'm getting my Nigerian flag out. I told my coach at the beginning of the year when I transferred, I said, we're going to go win a championship. And he didn't know what to expect. He didn't know. The team before I got there didn't win that many games. I told him we're going to win a championship. We're going to do all these things. And then I had a dream. I was like, I wore the Nigerian flag. So I had my Nigerian flag. I put it in my bag. And when we got to the championship game, we were actually losing. We were losing to the team Long Beach that won the regular season. And they beat us before. And we were losing at halftime. And one of my friends, named Cameron, my teammate, I had a flag in my bag. So I opened up my bag before we go out to the second half. I took out my flag and I told him to hold it. And he says, like, he said once I get that he knew he was with it, and all of a sudden, less than like 6 minutes left in the game, like catch this dunk and all the momentum changed. And by the time when we won, I pull out the flag out my shorts. Everyone's confused that where's this flag came from. It's always with me. And it was a very proud moment because not many Nigerian players done that at that time. At the pinnacle of success, represent where they came from. And for me, it's like like that's the foundation for who I am and what I am today. And definitely leading up to that tournament, it was like, man, what a time to be Nigerian. So it's like I took my flag out, put it on, champion. They gave me MVP, and it was like reaping the benefits of everything I've sown. And it was very inspiring for many of the young Nigerian players. I help a lot of kids out, and I mentor a lot of kids, especially young African players that come over to America and try to pursue a better life. So when they see me do it, they was like, man, like, so it's really cool. Because many times you move to another country, try to fit in. And, confidence, like where you're from and all that. And definitely for the younger kids that follow me, and even the guys that's my age, when they see me do that, they was like, man, like he really repped Africa. So then after that, like everyone started, when they got their moment of success, they started repping where they're from. My guys from Mali, my guys from Congo.
Afro, you see them now.
Everybody's representing Africa. So it's like, it's a beautiful thing to see. All people, all the same people.
Man, it's great. All Big West tournament first team and then Big West tournament MVP, bro. You went off. The highlights itself, if you're gonna show that to anyone that comes back, that dunk, we're gonna keep quiet on that. You really show a lot of people, because I think when I posted that video as well, like so many people messaged me like, who's that? Like, I was like, oh, you guys don't know. Like, you guys are gonna know. Don't worry about it. Let's leave college now, and then you were hoping like the NBA draft. When it came to that, what were your hopes going into the draft? And
like everything else in my life, I'm always a late bloomer. So after the dunk and, we played Duke, I played all right. had a double-double. Now it's time to focus on the NBA draft. And, at the time, because I'm a late bloomer, I wasn't on really anybody's radar. But, God works in mysterious ways. So definitely all I just needed opportunity. There's opportunity to compete against the best, play against the best, and whatever happens, happens. So, I went to Las Vegas right after school, right after we lost to Duke, went to Vegas the next day, started training there for 7 months up until the draft and working hard 3-4 times a day. And, I had the blessing that many NBA teams came and saw me and they had an opportunity to work out in front of teams. And that's a blessing in itself. Not many kids get to say that, especially coming from where I come from, from a small school. So that alone, created opportunities. And, with me, my life is always a journey. So after the NBA draft, I didn't get my name called, but I knew it's not about the short term. It's always about the long term.
Exactly.
9 last.
Facts.
So went to Korea. Had the opportunity to go play professionally in Korea. And, there's an opportunity to showcase what I'm about at the pro level. And, as soon as I get there, my first game as a pro, I had 36 points. And I took that team, the team I was playing on, KT Sonic Boom. We won the KBL Cup, and I won the Cup MVP. So in less than not even 9 months, I won Conference MVP and then the KBL Professional MVP. So
keep taking dubs.
Imagine my mother was ecstatic. My mother was very proud, and Korea was a great place. Ambassador, met a lot of Nigerians there. It's a big Nigerian population there, and so that helped me, learn more about people coming from another country, coming from Nigeria to another country, assimilating, working hard, trying to make ends meet. And had the pleasure to meeting Ambassador Ali Magashi, in diplomat in South Korea, and we have a great friendship. And I gave him my championship jersey before I left to come play in NBA.
That's sick. Before I go into what's next, Onyinyechi is a student athlete as well. So I think you can also talk into coming, because I was it 4 years ago now that you moved to America, was it? Yeah.
Me? Yeah.
So definitely, I think you can also touch on what EJ is saying, moving to a new country and trying to adapt, man. How's that been for you?
It's actually very crazy because, well, I chose a very cold state, first of all, which was one of the major problems. And for track, you have indoor and outdoor. And outdoor, you're literally running in the, our last meet on Saturday, I literally bruised my knee because I was trying to run with the wind. So that is very different. And also coming from Nigeria, because a lot of our stuff are not well developed. So while running on dirt tracks, we don't have time and all that kind of stuff. We're not gymming like they are here. We don't know half of what we're doing. So that was also difficult because I remember it was so funny when I came in, because you remember we were so used to running and doing stuff without our shoes. So when I first came, I had spikes, yeah, but I would want to jump without my shoes.
And they definitely look at you
and they'll be I don't think you should do that. And as a Nigerian, I took everything as an insult. So I was all right, I bet I'll wear my shoes. And so it was different, and the feeding was also very different because for my first year or 2 years before I started cooking for myself, I'm eating what the school is providing for me, and then doing the same workout that they're giving me. So it wasn't balancing. It wasn't giving. So there was it was very hard, and I'm in a very white city, so I was one of the only black girls on my team. Right now, I'm one of the only black girls. There are only 2 of us, and I'm the other one. I'm the second. So that was also very difficult. But it's so weird because in America, saying that you're a student athlete is something of pride. People are oh, you're an athlete in college? I'm yeah, why? It's not that deep. So but it's a really huge thing. So I started taking it with my shoulders high, I run. like what he's saying, that kind of stuff. But like I had a very, like he said, I had a very late blooming, not because of like anything, but like it was more of a personal thing. I don't want to do anything with track. I just happen to do it because I've been doing it for so long.
Yeah,
like,
since you were in night.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like go to the Olympics. I'm not trying to like, you know, I mean if I could, I would love to, but like that's not like my goal because I just don't see it happening. So like
Hey, it's gonna happen. First thing I asked her, because we haven't spoken in a long time. And first thing I asked her when we came on, because I was trying to remember you because of you put the flag, and I was like, Onyinyechi, if you got called up to America and Nigeria called you up, which I'm gonna ask you that same question, EJ. Are you gonna go represent Nigeria? Or are you gonna represent America? And she was like, yeah, Nigeria, I'm sure they call me or something. But like, EJ, the question is to you now. If Nigeria comes with that call up, I mean, now you're focusing on your professional career and everything. I respect that.
wait,
Yeah,
if Nigeria calls you against America, what's if both of them call you?
Okay, hold on. In fact, let's go there. If both of them call you, what, like, is it like something you're thinking about? Is it like a first time night, or is it first time you're going to America?
Say it from your heart, like, you know, think about everything.
My mother taught me as a young kid I'm Nigerian before I'm American.
Okay, but hold up.
Hey, no. There's no hold on.
Wait,
Hey, I'm gonna bring it back up. You see this man here? You're telling me that this man is going to represent
No, like, you know, I feel like that's like a vision that obviously I want to represent my country. I'm not what's the color of American flag? I'm not red and blue and white. I'm green, white, green. But then you also have to think about a lot of things that go with being on a team that's more developed and developing countries like have. And like we as a country are still very far from that. Think of the time where like Alex Iwobi them were coming out, and then, you know, people were like pumping money, Nike they were pumping money into like the football team. Where are we now?
You know, it's very funny you say this, but you know, Nigeria, we have a long ways to go with our whole sports.
Yeah,
you know, that's definitely something that, you know, we're gonna have to work on. But one thing that's a turning corner for us is like the guys that played basketball, the pioneers like Idiogu, Deji, all those guys like that set the foundation. Julius Mimosa. It's now my generation's turn to take it to that next level. You know? Now we're starting to get coaches from the NBA that's coming. And you know, we beat Team USA last year. So that's like a great example and something that we're very proud of for basketball, you know, for me. And something for me is like I said, you know, I'm Nigerian before I'm American. If you see my name, Ejimofo Anosike, is that really American?
I mean, we know it's not American, but all the time we see all these like Nigerian names in like Great Britain and America. I'm not trying to like.
I understand.
I'm not trying to like pull you down, like pull down the swords, but it's like I always like try to think of the surrounding things. Like, obviously, if I can afford to get the same personal team, then I can do it for Nigeria. But like the thing about America is like it's easier to do it.
Yeah,
and like
you have the things they're set up already. Like
because it's easier, it's also like cheaper. Like there are just so many layers. There's just so many layers to peel, especially in something like athletics, which is probably not a priority for like the Nigerian government.
If we go into Nigerian athletics now,
definitely not. But you know, I'm very blessed to be born at the time that I'm blessed. Like my brother and sister played for Team USA. You know, when my sister was coming up, there wasn't really a Nigerian women's basketball infrastructure. By the time my brother was coming up, you know, it was there, but it wasn't where the opportunities wasn't there to go. There wasn't social media. It wasn't really the opportunity forward to play for Nigeria unless you were already in Nigeria. So that excluded a lot of the guys that were born in America to play on the Nigerian national team.
You
know, for me now, it's like the landscape has changed. We have these social media technology, resources. It's easy to contact people. So now it's like it's a more level playing field. There's accessibility to relate to other guys. And now it's like I have the opportunity to play for the Nigerian national team.
Yeah.
I take advantage of what wasn't provided before, years before, for other athletes similar to me. So that's something I'm definitely proud of, to carry the torch. And, it's very prideful for me.
Yeah. I think another thing that's really mentioned, like you spoke about it, sometimes in Nigeria they still bring it up, is that, oh, he's not really Nigerian. Like if you just have like the tiniest accent and you're trying to represent Nigeria, like why are you bringing all these people that aren't actually Nigerian when you might be Nigerian by name, your parents Nigerian, like you speak the language, but like people are trying to push down your own nationality from you, which could be a tough one sometimes. But we need to learn as a country, as fans, as a federation. We all need to learn, I think.
Yeah, definitely it's something that everyone does. But one thing that I always keep in mind, my mother, she immigrated to this country over in 1976, from Nigeria. And, being in America, it sounds good, but the life that we had to endure, the same thing with Giannis Kumpa, his family, their journey to Greece wasn't easy.
Yeah.
It was all to give her children the opportunities that they weren't afforded to in Nigeria. And that's just like anybody else that's in Nigeria. They're looking for opportunities to get out and make something of themselves. So they will have children, whether they move to France or Europe or whatever, that'll be similar to me, first generation guys, but something that you instill in your children is the pride of who you are and where you come from. That and always go back to your roots, because that's the core foundation of who you are. So whenever a guy or someone ever says something like that, I put that in perspective. It's like, if you left to America now and you had a child, and you don't want him to really embrace being Nigerian.
Exactly.
I think I commend the guys, that defends their hometown and their culture. Because there's a lot of people that now it's cool to be Nigerian. 10 years ago,
we were literally just talking about that. Like now everyone knows Nigerian slangs. Everyone knows Pidgin now. Like a few years ago, it wasn't like that.
It wasn't like that as a kid. You got made fun of because of your name or your accent, and trust me, I've been through it. It took us about 2 Black Panther movies, Afro beats, and people trying to for them to be our Nigerians are finally cool. But hey, I'll take it now. So
Nigerians in the world.
We're very prideful people. So I already understand when people say that, like they want a Nigerian fact check you to make sure that you're not just trying to pretend to be cool. You are. So I respect it. And, definitely something I laugh about.
Yeah, Nigeria is now a vibe. I mean, it's okay, but like, where were you guys before?
Okay. Main thing when it came to picking you for this, or like asking you for the interview, actually, was what we're seeing you do in terms of the shoe drive, your stuff with NBA Africa, Meta Sports, and I was like, you're doing a lot. Like, apart from just playing ball, you're actually doing a lot after. I want you to speak a bit about what you're doing, what you have plans for the future, and just a bit of that space. So the professional space, because obviously you're someone that's done so much in terms of education, and what you're trying to do in that space apart from being a pro ball player.
When my mother gave me the name Ejimofo, it means justice. So it was always something that she stressed to me. And one thing that I live by is, like, when God gives you opportunity, it's your job to create opportunity for the next person to be the best. And for me, growing up in Nigeria as a child, I knew that I had the opportunity to go back to America. My cousins didn't. My cousin went to school there. My cousin stayed there. All my uncles, aunts, and uncles, they're all in Nigeria. So they weren't afforded the opportunity that I am today. And that helped me motivate to, once I reach a level of success and have the resources, why can't I help the next generation have the opportunities I was afforded? Don't let the location and constraint of being in Nigeria stop you from finding success in this world. To go in, a lot of my friends, and when you come to America, it doesn't matter what country you're from. We're all African here. So I made a lot of my close friends are from Mali, Congo, Senegal, and during this journey of playing basketball, we all came together and we talked about our stories and our experiences. And now that we're older, we have the resources, we accomplished, graduated college, and there's a lot more younger guys that's come to the States looking to find the same journey. We mentor them, we help them find a good school, we talk to coaches, we make sure that they have good living situations, that they don't face the same struggles that other guys face when trying to find something for themselves. And that led to the motivation and creation of Meta Africa Sports. That's one of the projects I'm heavily involved with that, I founded with my friends. And that just to create opportunities throughout the continent. We have one basketball league in Mali. We're starting playoffs now. We're doing a shoe drive to give out sneakers and shoes throughout different countries to different basketball leagues. We sponsor different leagues throughout Nigeria, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Gabon, even in South Africa. We're looking to expand to the whole continent. And another project that we're working on is our scholarship program. Even student athletes and non-student athletes. If we could change one life at a time, that's what we could do. And as more resources come, we'll change many more. But that's really the key thing that we're doing now. We partner with FAU Africa. We're going to be at their festival in Senegal in May. Teach basketball workshops. Over 10,000 kids. We're going to be going throughout the country to different schools. And, just interacting and showing kids like life is more than what you see here. Even though this situation currently may not be the best, you don't think there's a way out. If you really believe in yourself and take advantage of resources and really try, like there's a way that you can make something happen for nothing. Because many other people have done it, and just because you're one of many doesn't mean you can't be the one. So I plan on going to Senegal, Congo, and I plan on going to Nigeria and doing some stuff there and start some other projects as well, especially in agriculture and resource base and people land and where I'm trying to develop that ecosystem. Everyone did a great job developing Lagos, Abuja. I feel like for me, growing up, that's the core of where I'm from, and have many of these moments just to develop that and have something to do in my community will be a blessing for years to come.
Everything, it's just so impressive. Like, I took one day and I was like reading through most of it, and I was like, yeah. I checked your LinkedIn as well, and I was like, yeah, this is really impressive, because coming back is another really important thing that I think really, when someone looks back at the end of your career, you're gonna look back like, when you're done or something. If you see 3 other players, I mean, if one guy's an NBA All-Star or All-NBA and he says, he got shoes from the drive that EJ got to Lagos State or something, like you look back and you're gonna be like, yeah, that's something that you did that actually meant a lot. Like that's the dream, man. Yeah. I salute you for that, bro. It's really good. I think we've come to the end of the interview aspect now. I was all free range. We're just gonna drop a few things to try and get to know EJ. Okay. Firstly, I said was Onyinyechi said, let's ask a question about music. Who are you listening to now? And be careful, you say the wrong name, you might get judged on this thing. If you say the wrong name.
I can't say the wrong name.
I can't say the wrong name.
Let's see. I'm gonna be honest. My friend Crayon, I've listened to his new song. I put it on my last highlight tape, the one.
Okay, Crayon. We take that. Yeah.
I listen to a lot of Duncan Mighty.
Really? Okay. Hey, my mom be jamming Duncan Mighty, so
I'm not gonna lie. My playlist right here is all Nigerian music. Flavor. Listen to a lot of Flavor.
Yeah.
Let's see who else we got. Burna Boy, of course.
Of course. Again, man. Hey, I'm gonna say you've already passed. That's all.
Oh no, I have a question.
Have you seen my documentaries? All Afrobeats.
I have another question of that. So, have you listened to Wiz and Davido?
Yeah, that was the main thing. This is it though.
Yeah, so Davido just relax. It's not
calm down. This is where you need to be careful.
I'm not going to ask the oh my gosh, who's better question. No, we passed that now.
Okay.
2020.
Yeah. Okay.
Davido just dropped his album on Friday, and have you listened to it?
Timeless. I got it on repeat.
Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it?
See, I can't really rate it because I haven't listened to every song. I'm on the
first. You literally said you have it on repeat.
I got the first song on repeat because that's Overdub. I like that a lot, but I definitely got to take a listen to it. But he always drops fire music. Like
Davido drops
an artist any day.
I know he does, but I wasn't really feeling this album like that.
Yeah,
I got to see the vibes. I gotta listen to it in the car when I drive.
Okay.
Some might call me a hater. Yeah. When Davido drops an album, I'm always gonna be like, hey, I'm not gonna jump right into that, and I'm gonna hold it. But I respect it. That's top 3. He's top 3. He's not 1, 2, but he's top 3. So it's always gonna be banger. Next question. Your ultimate Nige starting 5, so Nige players ever. If you could build a team, you could put yourself on it. Favorite Nigerian team, 5
basketball players.
Yeah, basketball.
Oh, this is tough. This is tough. I'm gonna start with myself.
Mm-hmm.
This is
all I'm gonna say, I'm gonna make a graphic and post it. This is EJ Anosike's team, like, so yeah. You can take your time and think about it. Yeah.
I'm gonna start with myself. See, I gotta go with the guys. I'm putting Precious Achua there.
Okay.
Let's see, Jordan Nora there.
Big baller. Yeah, we respect it, baller.
Giannis didn't play on the national team. So
okay. Should we? Okay.
I'm gonna go straight national team, guys. I'm gonna go straight.
Let's go national team.
I'm gonna give 6.
Okay, 6 man.
I got Gabe Vincent as well.
Baller, yeah.
And then I gotta go to OGs, Black Caesar, Ike Diogu, and Reggie.
Yeah, he has to make it. Okay. You mentioned you said like 3 names right there.
Yeah, I got Deji, Ike Diogu, and Gabe Vincent. Those are the last 3.
Okay. That's how. Well, yeah. We'll take it. I'll try and do that.
I feel like those are the guys. Great chemistry. We check all the boxes.
You think you beat anyone? 100%, I think.
We check all the boxes.
Yeah.
Check all the boxes.
Anybody. Okay. I think we have come to the end here. Onyinyechi, have you got anything you want to ask?
So like outside of basketball, which other sports do you do or watch?
Yeah, I do or watch. I'm actually doing boxing now. I do a lot of training. Outside of basketball, what other sports do I do? I mean, I have a lot of friends in the NFL, so I watch football now. American football. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to meet with some NFL Africa kids that came from Nigeria.
Oh, yeah. Is it the ones that went to London and then?
The Ivy kids. So I'm going to go visit them, take them to get food, and introduce them to some NFL players. So experience. So I think that, like the stuff that I do is not just basketball, all sports. Like I support any kid from Africa that wants to become something themselves. I have a resource that they can help get them to the next level. That's what I do. So I think that's the main thing for me.
Okay.
Everything.
I have one last question then. If you could pick one celebrity to act as you in your life story, because I think this would be a really fun movie. Like from what you've said, it would be a fun movie. I think so. So if you could picture one person that is gonna be the guy to be you, who's that gonna be?
As a kid, I want Aki Papa. As a kid, I want. As a kid,
you want to see Iheme. Like
as a kid, I want to.
Yeah.
Grow up. You know what I want Ethiopia. I want him to be me as an adult. Because, I love his movies.
Those are 2 sick picks.
I can really, because he's a great actor and he's hilarious. And I'm always smiling.
Yeah.
It'll be funny to see him playing basketball. Like his.
Yeah, that's what I was imagining right now. Like, in this stage, he's trying to embrace
an NBA. That's a movie. That'll be crazy.
Nah, that'll be funny. All right. Yo, man, it was great to have you on. First episode of The Den.
Thank you.
Yeah, keep doing what you're doing because it honestly, like even if you might think at a point that maybe it's not really doing anything or you want to feel like you're not doing that much, I promise you it's touching a lot of people. And a lot of people are looking at that and saying, I can do that as well. And you're inspiring other people to help as well. So really good work with that. And thank you guys. Thank you for coming on. Thank you, Onyinyechi, as well, for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It was nice meeting you, HK.
It's a pleasure meeting you. Thank you guys for having me. Big things coming for Nigeria soon. A lot of big things actually throughout the whole. You're working.
All right. Thank you guys.
All right. See you guys.